Okay, today I'm going to show you a quick bread method, which is called the muffin method. It's one of the easiest methods under the quick bread classification. You're basically just mixing your wet ingredients in with the dry ingredients. So first thing that I'm going to do is always preheat your oven, because you always want it to bake your quick breads right away, because we're using chemical leaveners, which is your baking powder or baking soda, anything that is one of those dry leavening agents. You want, once you mix it with some wet ingredients, you got to bake it right away, because it'll lose its leavening power. Right now I'm going to just spray my pan. You always want to grease your loaf pan or your pans right before you start, because once you mix it, you want to get that right into the oven. I like to ensure with my banana bread or any loaf pan, just put a little piece of parchment paper on the bottom, stick it with some pan spray, just to ensure the bottom doesn't stick. That is my insurance policy right now. So I'm going to put this aside. Okay, so I'm going to show you the ingredients. I already just mixed all of my dry ingredients together, most of my dry ingredients. We have flour, I have baking soda, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, and a little bit of nutmeg, because I'm making some banana bread. So first thing you want to do with any type of quick bread, you always want to sift your dry ingredients, because you don't want those lumps in it. So I'm going to sift my dry ingredients into a big bowl. See the little lumps? And then, I'm just going to throw that away. Okay. Sift those dry ingredients together. Then in a separate bowl, I have my bananas. With banana bread, you want to mix your mashed bananas along with the sugar. Okay. The oil. And the eggs. I'm gonna mix these eggs first, so it will mix more evenly together. Okay, I'm gonna mix that. Okay, move these aside. Okay, you're just gonna mix this till it's nice and smooth. Try not to make a mess like I did. Probably put it in a bigger bowl. Mix it. Okay, your dry ingredients, make a well. I'm gonna switch to a spatula or a wooden spoon. Okay, make a well. Always add your wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, just because it makes it mix better, less lumps. You could do the same method for some easy blueberry muffins. This is also a method you do for pancake mix. Any of those is considered a muffin method. Anything that you add some wet ingredients into dry ingredients and you just mix it just till the flour is absorbed. You don't want to overmix it, because if you overmix it, you're going to develop the gluten and it's going to be very tough, and you'll have big elongated holes in your bread, which is called tunneling. What happens is with tunneling, when the gluten is developed and the carbon dioxide gases want to go out, it'll kind of constrict those bubbles and they'll push way through. And then once you get all these long, big holes in your bread or muffin. So just, see, done. It took me like 10 seconds to mix it, okay? So from here, I'm going to throw it into my muffin pan. My loaf pan. You could use the muffin method. I could take this same dough, make muffins. I could put it in a cake pan. I could just bake it however which way I want. But I'm just going to put it in a loaf pan right now. If you have some nuts, you can top it with some nuts. But let me see if I have some nuts. What do I got? What do I got? I have nothing. So this will just be a plain banana bread. I'm going to stick it in my preheated oven. It's 350 degrees. Usually banana bread takes a long time. It's about 55 minutes to an hour. So what you want to do is make sure with quick breads, you don't want to open the oven at all for at least 3/4 of the way through. So, because if you open the oven, you can knock down all the gases, because what you want to do is you want to bake it enough that the structure is set, and then you could rotate it after kind of like maybe 45 minutes. So, because if you open the oven, it'll deflate and you'll have a hole in your quick bread. So I will show you at the end when it's done. It should be nice, high, golden brown, and the crack that's usually in your banana bread should be equally golden brown. And to test the doneness, you're going to stick a toothpick, or sometimes if you touch it, it'll spring back, especially the little top part of your banana bread that's usually underdone. You have to make sure it doesn't look wet. Everything is nice golden brown or brown, okay? So I'll come back and show you the finished product. So this is my banana bread. As I press it, see it bounces back. Okay, there's a little crack here. Sometimes you can get a toothpick and poke the little crack, or right in the center. If the toothpick comes out clean, it's ready to go. It's done. So what you want to do is let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. And then you want to take it out of the muffin pan and put it on a rack, just so the bottom can dry out as well. If it stays in the pan, sometimes the bottom gets a little soggy, and just make sure you cool it completely before you cut it. All right, enjoy.